I'm Josh Gates, and this is Expedition Unknown.
Oh my God.
Okay, maybe a lunch break?
What lunch break? It's 2 o'clock. We have more to do.
Oh, man. Mahmoud. She's relentless.
That shouldn't be a surprise. A person needs to be determined if they're going to find Alexander the Great. The last resting place of history's greatest conqueror is also the greatest missing persons case in history. Not to mention a treasure-filled tomb beyond compare, one that has eluded scholars and adventurers for centuries. My own search kicked off in Vergina, Greece, in what were once the rolling hills of Macedon, a small tribal kingdom that grew into a lethal fighting force, thanks to Philip II, who began a revolution in warfare that his son Alexander turned into a fun hobby called taking over the world, spreading his empire from Macedon into Europe and as far as the edge of India. Using honed military skills and innovative long-handled spears known as sarissas, Alexander crushed the competing powers of his day.
And how would you describe his reign?
The most successful military campaign in world history.
In Egypt, he was welcomed as a pharaoh and pronounced a living god. It could be argued that no person changed the world as much as Alexander. Oh, and he did it all by age 32. I've never felt less accomplished. But then, a sudden and mysterious death from illness turned the game board upside down.
It was probably the most devastating piece of news that the world had seen up to that point.
Philip's subterranean tomb in Greece glitters with ancient treasures and is adorned with the royal emblem known as the Vergina star. This gave me a good idea of the even more valuable treasure that assuredly lies with his son Alexander. Except, slight wrinkle, we don't know exactly where he is. After Alexander died in the conquered city of Babylon, his massive funeral procession was hijacked by one of his successors, the pharaoh Ptolemy, who arranged for his body to be brought to the harbor city Alexander founded, Alexandria, Egypt. 2,000 years ago, the geographer Strabo described the tomb as an immense structure with a pyramid roof surrounded by a large fortification wall. But after 20 centuries of earthquakes, tsunamis, and modern construction, Alexandria is now the largest city on the Mediterranean. And that's where archaeologist Calliope Papacosta comes in. She's used ancient sources to unearth roads that Alexander the Great himself designed. Those landmarks led her to dig a very big hole, 30 feet beneath modern Alexandria.
You're like excavating a city down here.
In this sprawling site, we dug down to the so-called Hellenistic or Greek layer and found a coin from the period right after Alexander's death.
You know, just a 2,000-year-old coin, no big deal.
As well as the top of an ancient pillar. The question is, a pillar from what? Calliope has also discovered part of the foundation of a building from the same period. By exploring and escaping from a flooded tunnel, we now know that the mystery building was 140 feet long and 110 feet wide, massive enough to be Alexander's long-lost tomb. But it's still circumstantial. Calliope will need to uncover more secrets about the structure before she's able to declare victory.
So let me show you this.
This is painted.
It is painting.
These red bands on here.
Yes. This is similar to decoration we find in tombs.
So this may be like a funerary painting.
I think it's a funerary painting.
These colors match those that I saw deep under the street on the other side of the building.
So does this convince you that somebody was buried here?
No, it's not enough. We must find much more to be sure about this.
Yes.
One of those things is something that appears just outside the mystery building.
You see this line of blocks?
Yes, these big limestone blocks.
Yes.
These look like the big limestone blocks from the foundation of the building.
The same size and material with the stones of the building. But it's not the only line of blocks. We have one here.
Oh,
see?
behind us.
One and second one.
Running parallel.
Quite parallel to this line.
So this is maybe a wall with fill in between.
We have to continue the excavation to confirm that.
The ancient writer Strabo says that Alexander's tomb was surrounded by a peribolos, or a large wall. Could that be what we're seeing here?
Just the fact that this building might have a wall around it further reinforces that the building must have been very important. You don't build a huge fortification wall around an insignificant building. So if this is a wall and it's running parallel to the building and maybe wraps around it, that would be huge.
Exactly.
Do we see more blocks on the other side?
We have found a few, but we must see if they continue.
Okay, can you show me?
Of course.
Yeah.
To determine if this wall was constructed to surround the building here on the site, we go to see how far it extends.
Okay, so here we are.
Yes, and you see that we found the continuation of the
The
stones.
stones continue, at least for a little bit.
Yes, but not only here. There is the other line also.
Oh, the
See
big
this
stone
big
over here?
block?
Yes.
So we have the two lines of stones.
So two lines of stones continuing and maybe the fill in the middle.
Yes.
And it's headed in the direction of the building, which is over there.
The mystery building is here, and Calliope has discovered what looks like a run of blocks that could be signs of a double-sided wall. Now, if those blocks continue and truly run parallel to the building, she could prove that this is a wall matching the one that surrounded Alexander's tomb.
So we need to go deeper.
Deeper in the same layer with the stones, with the blocks.
Okay, so we dig?
Of course.
Step 1, move dirt. Along with my friend from the tunnel, Mahmoud Samir, I join the dig team and we start progressing further and further back in time.
Calliope, when do we get a break again?
12 o'clock. Is that okay?
Midnight, you mean?
You are already tired?
No, not at all. Why am I the only one digging?
هو هابي هاي ما بكونش شو
He said that you don't work, you make jokes with me.
Step 2, stop joking and examine dirt.
We start sifting now.
Sifting the soil. Yes, okay, let's do it.
The soil we've moved could contain priceless artifacts from the distant past, and we don't want to miss them.
Okay, so what will we keep here? What are we looking for?
Sometimes we found coins or charcoal like this.
Ah, there's charcoal, yeah.
Yes.
Look at that. So evidence of burning here?
Yes. Like this layer.
Alexandria has fallen victim to earthquakes and conflict, which is most likely how the tomb became lost in the first place.
Calliope, this burning layer here, is that like a destruction layer?
I suppose so. We know that Alexandria had been burned many times. So this is a very interesting element.
Most of our coins, we found it like that.
Yeah,
during
most of them you
sifting.
found
Yeah.
in the sifting.
Yes. See?
Pottery. Look at that. It's just material everywhere. So bone here?
Yes.
Bone?
Yes, bones.
So small animal bones here.
We keep digging, our eyes peeled for telltale blocks of stone. Stone isn't the only thing here that tells tales.
بص مد ايديك انت بقى
Oh, something green? Coin? Ah, another coin! It's corroded, but you can almost already make out something on there. So, what do you think, Calliope?
Yeah. It can be cleaned more,
Yeah?
but it's in a good condition.
Okay, so maybe we can date the coin. That would be huge. Help give us an idea of when we are here.
Just above the site is a makeshift lab where Mahmoud catalogs the team's discoveries, including several other coins that have been unearthed in the past few days. With him is Khalid Ismail, a numismatist or coin expert who can hopefully tell us about the loose change we've pulled out of the ground.
So these are all bronze coins, right? So we have this corrosion, this kind of blue-green corrosion on them. So how do we get them to a point where we can read what's on the coin?
We have to completely cover coin by solution.
Got it.
The solution is 5% formic acid mixed with distilled water, designed to eat away at the thick crust of corrosion formed over thousands of years.
Even after a few seconds here, we see this water's turning blue.
Yes, it's mean we have active corrosion.
Active corrosion.
Active corrosion.
So that's being pulled out of the coin.
Yes.
Okay.
Next up, a little elbow grease. Our expert applies a motorized copper brush to the face of the coin.
So this is delicate because you want to get rid of the corrosion, but not the markings on the coin. Okay, let's see what we can see. Khaled, you're up.
I can see here the eagle standing.
An eagle?
Yeah, it's a symbolic of the Ptolemaic dynasty, or the kingdom of the Ptolemaic period.
May I? Oh, look at that. You can see the eagle here.
Yes.
Isn't that beautiful?
It's amazing.
And can we see anything on the front side?
I see the physical features for someone.
A face?
A face, yeah.
And?
It's Alexander the Great.
That's Alexander.
Yes.
This is the head of Alexander.
Yes.
He's looking to the right.
Yeah.
You can see his nose and mouth. Alexander the Great.
Yes.
As we can see with a slightly less weathered coin, Alexander's very face was currency here in Alexandria, but surprisingly, not in his lifetime.
It's a coin that the Ptolemies minted,
Right.
not Alexander.
Right.
That means that Ptolemies continue to make coins with the head of Alexander.
This tells you everything you need to know about his influence, his power.
Yes, of course. That's why Ptolemy wanted to bring his body in Alexandria. Whoever had the body of Alexander should be the greatest king.
Incredible. Well, it's not the tomb of Alexander, but it's Alexander.
At least we have a coin.
Yes, that's history right there.
The coin stamped with Alexander's face is likely from the centuries after his death, when the pharaohs that followed him co-opted his image to consolidate their power. But it's a huge sign that our dig is getting close to the layer from the time of Alexander's burial. We return to the trench, knowing from the coin that we're likely right above the layer where the fortification wall should be.
Of course, we will continue. We have to excavate all this area.
Right.
I hope that in another spot we'll find also this line to be continued.
Calliope has been in this position before, but doesn't give up easily. So we cross our fingers and keep going, finding only small pieces of broken stone.
Look how many pieces there are.
Limestone everywhere.
Yeah. But we could...
This better.
Oh, no.
This
Really?
line, really.
You found a stone?
Yes, yes.
It continues.
Yes.
Ah! This is, for sure, another one of these big limestone blocks that continues right through here. This is just broken up in here.
Oh my God, I will start crying now. No, I was disappointed when I didn't see this area having the same stones. I said, maybe I'm wrong. But now you see, look at it. You see?
It's amazing.
It means I'm right.
Yeah.
Great, great.
Let's go in and take a look. Come here. So, up close and personal here, we can see this big limestone block, which looks exactly the same dimensions as the one leading up to it here. So this does continue. This is a long, continuous foundation of some kind in a parallel line with another one over here. So, I mean, that's pretty cool.
We measure the stone to see if it matches the width of the previously found section.
How wide?
60.
60 centimeters, okay?
Okay, let's check this one now. 60.
60 also.
Exact same width.
Yes.
Okay?
Great, great.
This could be it. We've confirmed that there was likely a fortification wall that surrounded our building. A wall like the one mentioned in the ancient account of Alexander's tomb.
We have this huge building with massive foundations right in the middle of the city, maybe surrounded by a large wall.
In the royal quarter of ancient Alexandria.
Do you think that could be his tomb?
For sure, it is a very important building of the royal area, of the royal quarter. We need more evidence, more clues to understand the identity.
Are you hopeful?
Of course, hope is everything in our work.
Alexander is one of the most towering figures in history. It is kind of remarkable that he's lost in a way.
Yes, that's why it's so important to find the tomb.
So now we just need to excavate all of this all the way to the end of the site today.
I don't promise you this.
We can do it. Come on, guys, let's get digging. Got a lot of work to do.
Calliope has invested decades into this dig, and I rest easy knowing that she won't stop until she's turned over every stone to confirm whether this is Alexander's tomb. But while she continues to investigate here, another theory has emerged from an expert who believes Alexandria was not the final stop for the conqueror's remains. In fact, he's got a wild theory that, if true, would change everything we think we know about Alexander. To meet this researcher, I bid farewell to Egypt and fly 2,000 miles to London? The River Thames is flanked by some quintessentially English landmarks. This is not one of them. Cleopatra's Needle is a 70-foot-tall, 180-ton Egyptian obelisk. Here to tell me how this 3,500-year-old monument ended up here is historian and author of 5 books on Alexander the Great, Andrew Chugg.
How wild is that to see an ancient Egyptian monument right in the middle of London?
Yes, it's migrated its way from Heliopolis in Egypt to Alexandria, and from Alexandria, eventually to here.
Yeah, we actually have one of these as well, right in the middle of Central Park in New York City.
That's right. They used to stand together in the middle of Alexandria, outside the Caesareum temple.
Right. So this was, at one point, where I've just come from, Alexandria, Egypt. And I guess it's a good reminder that many treasures from the ancient world had a way of migrating to other empires.
Yes, things didn't always stay put.
Exactly. And that brings me to Alexander. You know, I've just seen these incredible excavations happening in Alexandria. What do you think? Do you believe Alexander and his tomb are still buried somewhere in the city?
Well, I think it's more likely that they too have migrated.
Like the needle here?
Like the needle here, exactly.
Okay, and what about his tomb?
Part of his tomb may also have migrated. Not just that, but I'm hoping to show you the proof.
Okay, I'm ready to be convinced. Where do we go?
It's not far from here, just down the street.
Okay.
Follow me.
Down the street.
I follow Andrew to a very famous address. As the sun begins to set, I'm geeking out because we're about to get an after-hours pass to spend a night at the British Museum. Welcome to the greatest collection of antiquities in the Western world, and for a few hours, we have it all to ourselves.
Absolutely stunning.
Over 8 million objects spanning all of human history, including a classic bust of Alexander the Great, and this little beauty, the Rosetta Stone, a tablet inscribed in 3 languages, Egyptian, Greek, and Demotic. This was the key to deciphering the hieroglyphics of ancient Egypt and changed our understanding of their world forever. I'm just trying to keep from doing cartwheels as Andrew leads me into the Egyptian wing and one often overlooked object.
Josh, I present to you my candidate for the sarcophagus of Alexander the Great.